Anderson County Democrats, it is Cory Booker, and I just am so inspired by you and grateful for all of your hard work. I want to thank your chairwoman, Tanya Winbush, for her incredible leadership. She is someone who has inspired me in my work and my determination. I, of course, want to thank Marvell Cheeks as well for the first vice chair of a great organization. If there was no NAACP, there would be no me. I also, of course, want to thank Jakori, somebody who, again, lifted me and showed me the power and commitment as this county party is one of their leaders, too. And, of course, Mary, who is one of my favorite text messengers, who's always inspiring me as your second vice chair. She is a light in my life. You all have an incredible team. And I know Bakari Sellers is featured tonight. Somebody who, again, is a not only an impact player there, but making a national impact as well. I just want to thank you all for your commitment. You all know that elections are not simply won; they have to be earned through work, through sacrifice, through struggle. Every inch of ground that is gained towards justice takes that struggle. So thank you all for putting in the work. This is an exciting election. I cannot tell you how excited I am. Not just that South Carolina, literally, that it could go blue this year in the presidential election, but you all know Jamie and I have been friends for 20 plus years now, and Jamie Harrison, to have him as my colleague, to have him as my partner in the Senate. I am so excited about Kamala Harris being our next vice president, but I am losing her in the Senate. And so I need my brother. You're taking my sister. We're pushing her up to a great position. You got to get Jamie in for me as well to get my brother to be my colleague. So I'm excited about what you all are doing, what you can do. You are inspiring me. I know we got a lot of hard work over these next now less than 2 months, but I just wanted to give you a note of encouragement, a note of thanks. What you all have done for me personally, in my experiences running for office in South Carolina, what you all have done to honor our ancestors, what you all are doing for generations yet unborn. All of this work makes me say thank you, God bless you, and let's get this incredible victory done. Bye-bye now.
So my challenge to you all is not just, all right? My challenge is not just to make sure that you go out in October, right? Now, I'm not saying November, but to go out in October and vote. But I think your challenge is to actually do the work necessary, which is what Cory Booker was talking about. We have to do the work necessary. So over the next 53 days, I think it is. Over the next 53 days, we have to do the things necessary. And I'm going to challenge you all to put in the work for Biden-Harris, to put in the work for Jamie Harrison. But then on day 3 of that work that you're doing, I want you to reach out to either and make phone calls for either Kyle Cunningham or Ralph Warnock or Gideon in New Hampshire. We have to, and the most amazing thing about this is I see people who are chanting Biden-Harris, 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 and I'm like, have you helped to flip the Senate? And they're like, no, I haven't even thought about it, because if you want them to be able to implement the agenda we want, you know that's not going to go through Mitch McConnell, right? So I need everyone under the sound of my voice to do just that much more. Why? Because we have to vote like our lives depend on it, because it really does. So make some phone calls in those states around us as well. Mike Espy actually has a chance to win in Mississippi. Doug Jones, it's going to be a tough race, but I love me some Doug Jones, but it's going to be a tough race. You know, in Colorado, we have a great candidate in Colorado, the former governor of Colorado. Thank God he got out the presidential race and began to run for the United States Senate. In Montana, y'all can make phone calls into Montana with Steve Bullock. We're going to win that race. Mark Kelly in Arizona, we're going to win that race. In order for Jamie to win, which I believe is extremely possible, he's going to have to get between 35 and 40% of the white vote in South Carolina. Between 35 and 40%. Can that be done? Yeah. Is that going to be hard? Hell yeah. So we need to make sure that you're reaching out and calling your friends. All right. We need to ask people, what has Lindsey Graham done for us? Absolutely nothing. You know, somebody referred to Lindsey Graham. It was James Carville referred to Lindsey Graham as a pilot fish. And I had to think about that for a minute, because when you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. You know, pilot fish, they always float around big fish, sharks and small whales and things like that. And Lindsey always floated around the big fish of John McCain. And when that fish was no longer there, he had to find another big fish to float around. And so just like any good pilot fish, he went and started floating around and taking on the attributes of Donald Trump. And that's just not what we need in South Carolina. We need somebody who puts South Carolina first, not the politics of Washington, D.C., and definitely not the Republican politics of Washington, D.C. And while we're actually making phone calls, let me add Joe Cunningham to your list of calls to be made, and Mo Brown as well to your list of calls to be made. We can literally do this, y'all. We can absolutely do this. We can maintain the House of Representatives. We can flip the Senate and get Mitch McConnell out of the majority. Do you know how great that would be? And think about this. We can send Joe Biden and Kamala Harris into the White House, where anything they dream of accomplishing for this country can be done. I speak to Kamala every other day. I just talked to her 2 days ago when she touched down. I guess it was 2 days ago. All my days are running together. She called me as soon as she landed in Miami. We talk about a lot. Mostly right now, we talk about debate prep, because she's going to thoroughly shred Mike Pence. But we talk about so much. And I was joking with her, but I said, do you know how much is possible when you become vice president of the United States? And she was like, Bakari, we're just trying to win. And I said, no. You have to recognize the possibilities. I said, hell, did you know that you could just go around and lift up and take up mailboxes? Did you know that? She said, I never thought about it. I said, I didn't even know it was a thing the president could do. Just pick up mailboxes in communities when you don't want people to have a place to drop their ballot. I'm just saying, think about the power and the possibilities of the White House, and think about all the good things that you can do. And she's ready, y'all. And I spoke to Joe Biden recently today. They put a lid over, a lid means that there's no activity. They put a lid over Wilmington, Delaware, because there's absolutely no activity there, because he's deep in debate prep. You know, the first debate is September 29th, if I'm not mistaken. And then Kamala and Joe Biden and Mike Pence, they debate October 7th. So we still have a lot of time left in this race. I don't necessarily like polls, because Democrats are proverbial bedwetters. We just are. Every time we see a poll, our emotions go up and down and up and down. Do you know how many phone calls I've gotten from my mama about a different poll in some other state? And I'm like, Mom, if you don't calm down, the only poll that matters is in November, right? That's what I tell her, just so she'll stop calling me. But so you all are aware, the New York Times just issued their new polls today, and they polled Nevada and Minnesota and Wisconsin and New Hampshire, all states, of course, that Joe Biden is winning. And the fundamentals are all there. The fundamentals are all there, but I'm going to tell you what this race is going to come down to. And this is quite simple. There were 4 million people who voted for Barack Obama. Actually, let me back up. 4.4 million people who voted for Barack Obama in 2012. 4.4 million people voted for Barack Obama in 2012, and they did not come out to vote for Hillary Clinton in 2016. It's not that they voted for somebody else, they just didn't come out at all. Of those 4.4 million people, over 1/3, over 1.5 million were Black. That's what this race comes down to, is going to get our friends who took 2016 off. A lot of them are re-engaged in 2018. The electorate has expanded. They have over 1 million, it's 1.3 to be exact, new registered voters in North Carolina. That's insane. And Democrats are like 900,000 of them. There is a huge amount of momentum in Florida with returning citizens. There are 900,000 returning citizens, individuals who got their rights restored, although there was a bad court ruling yesterday saying that they had to pay their court fines and fees. But guess what? LeBron James has a nonprofit dedicating to paying their court fines and fees so that they can show up and vote in November. So things are going in the right direction, but I wish, I don't know if Shakur, he probably left to get his coffee, or he's probably cheating and writing his sermon using some of my quotes here today, but that's okay. But we all know that in the book of James, it says faith without works is dead, right? So we can have all the faith in the world, but if we are not doing the work necessary, then we're not going to flip anything. Now, let me tell you the work that y'all got to do. This is what the Anderson County Democratic Party has to do, because, you know, the national politics is all cool. I love Kamala. I talk to her. I'm helping her with debate prep. I love Joe. Joe is a great guy, and I love the way that he has things that this president just fundamentally is incapable of doing, like empathy and compassion and things like that. But what I need for you all to do in Anderson County is, over the next 2 years, every single seat that comes up, from countywide dog catcher all the way up, needs to have an opponent. We need to go out there and talk to people, and we need to have people running for every single seat in Anderson County. Every single city office and every single county office. I don't care how big the city is. The city could have, 2,000 people in it. But we're going to have people running for city council. They're going to feel welcomed in the Anderson County Democratic Party. They're going to get the training necessary so that at least they know how to make a phone call, or even if they need help going to Staples to make a sign. I mean, we have enough talent in our party to help them do the basic things, but that's the way that we're going to change the politics of Anderson County. And there are a lot of things that we can do better. And we need to make sure that we are running people for office, good people for office. I remind people that Republicans didn't take over the North Carolina state legislature until, I want to say, 2016 was the first time that they became in the majority of 14 over 100 years. People need to remember that the South Carolina state legislature was Democratic up until 1994, 96, when my good friend Luke Rankin and a few others flipped and switched parties. Hugh Leatherman was a Democrat too. It's a whole lot of them that switched parties. So this hasn't been that long ago. And do you know how Republicans came into power in South Carolina? They ran people for every single office. They just built their party by running people for everything. And so I'm challenging you all to do all of that. If there are, and Joey knows I'll do this, and Tanya may not know, but you know now, and Mary, if there are people that you want to run for office that need some motivation, Bakari Solis will call them. I will take 10 minutes out of my day and make a phone call and call them and tell them that if I need to tape a robocall for somebody, that takes 5 minutes out of my day. I'll tape a robocall for somebody. But we're all in this together. And I know that we're worried about the national politics, but I also want the politics of Anderson County to change. Because as soon as that changes, the entire upstate changes. Barack Obama won Greenville. Did y'all know that? The city, not the county. He won the city of Greenville by 1,000 votes, not once, but twice. It's a little known secret that people don't talk about. It can be done, right? We can actually, in the upstate, make changes. And so I'm just excited, y'all. And I hope that you all can feel my excitement. I hope that you understand that you can feel my excitement, but you can also understand my challenge to do the work. So, I mean, my point to you all today is this. It's a couple of things. The first is I want you all to go out as soon as we get done at 11, whatever time you all get done. I'm gonna take a few questions and then escape because my twins are probably driving my wife crazy. But I want you all, the first thing you do is just call a teacher in your life. That's the first thing. And if we have any teachers on here, just know I love you and we'll make sure that we do that. But please call a teacher in your life and an administrator and let them know that you're thinking about them, because I know I had to do like virtual school with my kid at school, and it was hard. And I can't even imagine what it is like going back to school with the pressures right now. So that's first. The second thing is I need you all to make a few extra phone calls this week for Biden and Harris. Just make a few extra phone calls for them, please. Um, the third thing is I need you to make a few extra phone calls for Jamie Harrison this week. It can be done. Call your white friends. Let's have some real honest conversations with your white friends. We're going to have a whole bunch of black folk flowing to the polls for Jamie Harrison, but he's going to have to make history with white voters in South Carolina. So just have some good casual conversations. And let's have a real dialogue about what Lindsey Graham has not done for South Carolina. And then the fourth thing I need you to do is I need you to dial into some other states. If you need help coordinating, just get with Tanya and say, Tanya, I need contact with, whether or not it's Mike Espy in Mississippi or Warnock or Ossoff in Georgia. They have 2 races up in Georgia. 2. North Carolina with Cal Cunningham. New Hampshire, an amazing candidate. I'm weird. I watch like Senate debates around the country, and her debate was really good last night. Whether or not you want to call into Montana, Colorado, Arizona, I mean, all of these things. Kansas, we can win Kansas. Mitch McConnell just had to spend $10 million on the radio, on TV in Kansas. Can you believe that? They're defending Kansas. So those are the things I need you to do. Those are the 4 challenges we have. And with that, Tanya and